Welcome to this session. In this session, we will see the different types of machine learning. So what is the agenda would be? What are the different types of learning and what is the basic concept of learning and the different types like supervised, unsupervised and reinforcement learning. So first let's understand what is learning. Now learning is something which we all have done in our life. Let's say a kid goes to the school. So what is he doing? He is learning. How he is learning? The trainer is providing the information. So that information is acting as an input. And then that information gets stored into the kid's mind. So next time he comes up with a newer scenario, he is able to identify that scenario and he can take a decision according to this. That is how we as a human being learn. Even when we were very young, so our parents used to tell, okay, this she is your sister, she is your grandmother. So next time when we come across our sister, I can identify, okay, she is my sister. Oh, she is my grandmother. So that is how we have been learning because we store that information in our mind. We store their image. Along with that, we also store the information that so and so person is a sister or so and so person is a grandmother. In the same way, we have to train our machine. So here we are providing some historic data. Now what is this historic data? This is the input. If you want the machine to understand something, you have to provide ample of information to the machine. The more better information or the input data you provide, the model will be more accurate. So the input data is really key to the success of a good model. So we have to provide ample of information to the model and based on that information, the machine learning algorithms will extract useful information out of it and they will build a model. Let's call this model a predictive model. Why it is a predictive model? Because it is going to predict some output. It is going to tell us what we are talking about. So that is a predictive model that will be created. This overall process, we call this as model training. So as we said, we went to the school, the teacher taught us, we grabbed all the information. So that was a kind of training we had obtained in the school. Similarly, the model will also go through the training. We provide lot of information, we build the model and the model is done. The model is ready. That process is termed as model training. Once the model is ready, we need to test the model. So how to test the model? We give some new data to the model. So this data acts as an input to our predictive model. A simple example can be in our school, our mathematics teacher used to teach us addition. So she used to give us lot of information. Say 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, 3 plus 3 is 6. Like that, she taught us so many combinations and she taught us lot about addition, so the different properties of addition. So that kept on adding as an input to us. Next time she will ask 4 plus 7. So based on whatever information I have, I should predict the result. So if I say, okay, 4 plus 3 is 7, my answer is correct. What if I say 4 plus 3 is 6? Then my answer is not correct. Similarly, when we give new data to this predictive model, the predictive model is going to predict some output. That output is termed as prediction made by the model. Now we compare this prediction with the real output, or we can say the targeted output, and then we observe the deviation. If the deviation is high, we will say the model is not very good. It needs to be retrained. So as I said, if I give the wrong answer to my teacher, she is going to tell me, okay, this is the wrong answer, right? You have not understood the concept properly. So let me give you some more examples so that you understand the concept better. Same thing is applicable to the machine. If the prediction is correct, we'll say, yes, the model is good enough. If the prediction is wrong, we need to retrain the model. So this process, we call this as evaluate the model. We are testing the model. We are testing the accuracy of the model. So this was the overall concept of learning. Now, let's proceed and see the different types of learning. So basically, we have three types of learning. The first one is supervised learning. The next one is unsupervised learning. And last one is reinforcement learning. So first, let's see what is supervised learning. Now, supervised learning, as I took the example of the teacher is teaching the kid that 2 plus 2 is 4. So that is the input which the kid is storing. Then she is saying, okay, addition has got some properties. If you write A plus B or you write B plus A, it means the one and the same thing. Like this, she is teaching me. So whatever input she is giving me, that is very, I have a very much clarity on that. So next time when she tells me some new numbers, I'm able to apply those characteristics and I can come to the conclusion or I can derive the result. That is learning. That means always I am under somebody's supervision. Someone is there in my support. Somebody is guiding me to reach to the output. So how supervised learning works? Let's understand this. Suppose I want to build a model and that model should predict an apple, whether a fruit given to it is an apple or not. So what we can do is we can provide ample of information about the apple to the machine. So we'll give lots of images, all possible apple images we will give. We will also tell it about the color, we will tell it about the shape of the apple, and we will also give some input which says, oh, this is not an apple. Because let's say a pear also looks like an apple. So my machine might get confused. So we will also give it a pear and we'll say, this is not an apple. So that way I'm trying to give ample of information to my machine so that there is no confusion in the machine. So based on all this information, what my machine will do, it will go ahead and build a model. So that model is our predictive model, and we have tried to train the model. Once the model is trained properly, it has grabbed all the information. Next what we will do is, we will give it some new image. We will not tell what it is. We'll just give it a new image just for testing purpose. So now we are trying to evaluate our model. Now, based on this, we are asking the model, what is this? So now the model has to come into action. So whatever previous data we have given, whatever model it has created, whatever information it has, based on that, it will try to do a prediction. And it will say, yes, this is an apple. That is basically the model prediction. So if the model has predicted the output correctly, it is a well-built model. Suppose it does not tell me that it is an apple. It says something, it's not an apple. So I need to retrain the model and give it some more input so that next time it doesn't make such a mistake. That is basically a supervised learning. So what happens in supervised learning? We are giving some input and along with that input, we are also providing some label. So in this example, you can see we are providing some bunch of shapes. So there are shapes like hexagon, triangle and square. So when I provide this as an input, I am also giving it as an input like this is a square, this is a triangle, this is a hexagon. That input we are providing. Now model is being trained based on that input and after that it is going to predict the output. So what is the output it is going to predict? So if we give it some new values like test data, based on that it is telling me yes this is a square or this is a triangle. So here we are providing the input and that input has some label attached with it. That means we are telling the machine clearly what this is. So machine has to just memorize that this type of shape is a hexagon, this type of shape is a triangle, this type of shape is a square. So this is one simplest approach of learning we can say, that is the supervised learning. Now let's see some examples, the real life examples where supervised learning is used. So one area where it is very commonly used is email spam detection. Whenever an email comes in our inbox, then there is an email spam detection algorithm that will identify this email as a valid email or it is a spam. So it will then put it inside the spam folder. Now why this has done successfully? Because it was provided ample of information that if you see so and so type of email, please classify them as a spam. Otherwise, put them inside the normal inbox section. So that way the machine was trained. So whenever a new mail will come, the machine will be able to classify it as a normal email or as a spam. Another area where supervised learning is commonly used is face recognition. So whenever some images, Facebook and so many other applications are using this. So whenever some image is given, then the face recognition system will identify it is a face of a human being or it is a normal object. So based on that, some tagging, etc. will be done. So that is a common usage of supervised learning. So let's stop here and we will continue our discussion in the next video. Thank you very much.